'Twas the night before Valentine's Day, 1929, in Chicago. The streets were lined with snow, a crisp chill in the air, but the city was alive with the hum of anticipation for the holiday. Inside the walls of the SMC garage on the north side, the air was thick with cigarette smoke and tension. Al Capone had promised his men a special gift this year, one that would solidify his dominance over the city. The gift, however, was wrapped in blood. The North Side Irish gang had been a thorn in Capone's side for too long. Their recent skirmishes had drawn too much attention, and Capone was ready to put an end to their defiance. Vito Genovese, Capone's most trusted enforcer, stood by the office door, staring out the grimy window. He could feel it in the pit of his stomach, the heaviness of what was to come. His mind raced back to the early days when he first rose through the ranks and how it all had led to this one cold, unforgiving night. Inside the garage, men laughed and joked, unaware of the grim fate that awaited them. They were loyal, but they were also expendable in Capone's eyes. Valentine's Day morning arrived with a ghostly calmness. The city stirred to life with couples preparing for a day of love, but for some, it would be their last. Inside the SMC garage, Capone's crew had gathered, ready for the deadly assignment. Dressed as law enforcement officers, they blended into the morning crowd with ease. Vito's voice echoed in the cold, barren space. Remember, don't hesitate. We go in, we get the job done, and we're out. They were waiting for the moment when the North Side Irish gang members, led by George "Bugs" Moran, would arrive for their usual meeting. The men would be celebrating their own version of Valentine's Day, blind to the bloody gift Capone had prepared for them. The garage doors creaked open, and in the distance, the familiar rumble of engines grew louder. The North Side gang was pulling in, unaware of the deadly trap that had been set. Bugs Moran, standing tall and proud as always, led the pack. He was smiling, unaware of the shadow looming behind him. The enforcers were in position. The plan was simple: ambush them in the garage, execute them all, and leave without a trace. Vito watched from the back of the room, his hand gripping the cold barrel of his Tommy gun. He thought back to his family, his wife, his young daughter. Would they ever understand the path he'd chosen? He could feel the sweat on his palms, the weight of every life he had taken, but there was no turning back now. This was Capone's order. The gang members entered, unsuspecting, their laughter filling the room. But then, as quickly as the moment began, the doors slammed shut behind them. The men in disguise, Capone's men, raised their guns in perfect unison. The air was filled with the deafening sound of machine gun fire, and the world seemed to slow as the bullets tore through flesh and bone. Vito didn't flinch. He had done this before, and yet there was a strange emptiness inside him. It wasn't the first time he had taken a life, but something about this massacre felt different. There was no satisfaction, only a haunting void. The gang members, caught completely off guard, had no chance. Blood soaked the floor, pooling around their lifeless bodies as the enforcers methodically wiped out the entire crew. Bugs Moran miraculously managed to escape, ducking behind a pillar just in time. By the time the sound of gunfire had died down, the garage was silent. The bloody bodies of Moran's men were left in twisted heaps, their eyes wide open in disbelief. The room smelled of gunpowder and death. Vito stood among them, his expression stone cold. His heart was pounding, but not from fear or exhilaration, just a quiet hum of dread. As the men prepared to leave, Vito noticed something odd: a red rose carefully placed on the chest of one of the dead. It was a cruel and deliberate touch, Capone's trademark. The rose, a symbol of Valentine's Day, was now a reminder of the violence and betrayal that ran deep within the world they inhabited. As the enforcers walked out, leaving the chaos behind, Vito's mind lingered on the rose. Why leave it there? Was it a message or simply a cruel joke? Back at Capone's office, Vito was summoned. Capone sat behind his desk, a glass of whiskey in hand, his face as unreadable as ever. "Job well done," Capone said with a rare smile. "But you're not going to like the next part." Vito raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" Capone's smile faded, replaced with a look of cold calculation. "Moran's still alive, and I've got plans for him. You've taken care of the foot soldiers, but Bugs, he's next." Vito's stomach sank. You didn't want him dead all along, did you?" Capone's laugh echoed through the room, dark and low. He's too valuable alive. I need him to send a message to the rest of the city. You see, Vito, you didn't just help me eliminate the competition. You've made sure that no one forgets who's in charge. Vito's hand trembled. He had done Capone's bidding, but at what cost? In his mind, a storm of regret began to brew. The bloodshed, the destruction, it wasn't worth the price of power. But he knew the rules. Once you crossed a line with Capone, there was no turning back. The days that followed were a blur for Vito. The city buzzed with rumors and speculation about the massacre. The papers called it the most brutal hit in Chicago's history, but Vito knew the truth. The story wasn't over. Capone's grip on the city was tightening, but so was the noose around Vito's neck. The twist had come when Bugs Moran had gone into hiding, plotting his revenge. He was far from finished, and the gang war that Capone had tried to end had just begun. Like and subscribe for more. As the weeks passed, the shadows of the massacre hung over Chicago, but the real story was just beginning. Would Vito remain loyal to Capone? Or would he turn on the man who had used him as a pawn in his dangerous game? Only time would tell, but the St. Valentine's Day massacre had set in motion a series of events that would change the city forever.